Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 25th of May. My name's Phillip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Pearce.
And Gary, I've finally got a bit of energy back. I've got to tell you, yesterday I was on the ropes. I was depleted of energy,
Well,
Gary.
you should have been.
My energy levels were empty.
We had a very big Sunday. You had 7 auctions. I think you've got another 7 this week. I mean, they are taxing an auction on the hour, every hour from 10:30. Lucky you're fit. Phil, lucky you are fit because it needs a fit man to see through that sort of commitment.
Gary, on Sunday I did a 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30.
Yep.
But what probably pushed me to the maximum was I had an auction at 12:30.
Oh yeah,
and normally an auction starts at 12:30 or on the half hour. I reckon 20 minutes it's pretty much done and dusted.
40 minutes, half an hour
25
sometimes.
minutes, maybe 30 minutes. So it started at 12:30. At 29 minutes past 1 o'clock. I'm still taking.
That's not
bids.
great, is it? I mean, it is great. It's great for the vendor.
Well, the vendor was very happy because it sold hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I heard there was
above being on the market.
Over 180 bids at that auction.
There was, Gary, and I've got to tell you, at 29 past 1, as the two bidders who are standing about 70 metres apart, that didn't help things. I'm down to the last, and they're taking their time to consider the next move. So I say to Deb Green, who's at the auction, I said, Deb, can you ring Joel Sir, who's at our next auction? Can you ring him and just let him know I will be there sometime today?
Yes.
Well,
thankfully it was only 2 minutes away, so everyone was settled and nicely, caffeined up and ready to go. Big crowd there.
I got to Wander Road, Gary, where I don't mind saying I might not mention his name on camera.
AFL identity.
An AFL identity that's had probably more success in the modern era than everybody else other than Alistair Clarkson.
And somebody that we've sold for as well, Phil.
So we won't mention his name.
Alistair Clarkson. I'm sorry about Saturday, Alistair Clarkson, but Carlton just happened. So this is going to be one of those rare moments, and I want to just sort of dwell on this for a second. This is a week where Carlton won and Melbourne lost. I don't think there'll be another week like that this whole year, but the D's pretty good. But
No, I've got to tell you, Gary, first of all, I'm happy that they lost.
Yes.
I know that's counterintuitive, but they needed to lose and they needed a reality check. And you could watch the game and they clearly weren't giving it their all until pretty much the game was on the line. But won through a very challenging umpire decision, we might well say.
Okay, well, let's get away from football. Let's get back to property.
Let's talk about the dog that pissed on our board.
Yes.
That's got a lot of feedback from last week.
Hello, madam. Excuse me, madam. Is that your dog? Was the heading of GPTV, Phil? And yes, there was a well,
I've got to
water.
tell you,
Water. What do you say when you've got a lot of when you've got a lot of water in your system? A
hydrated.
Hydrated. Hydrated
all
dog.
I can tell you is that I did notice last weekend a notice uptake in the number of people walking their dogs hanging around our auction boards.
Yes,
I think it might be the start of a thing.
And dogs are sniffing our boards now to see who's been there.
You know how you can have take a selfie moment where people where it becomes a bit of a viral craze. Have a selfie taken with your dog pissing on a Gary.
What's it called when you're laying flat?
Urinating,
when you're laying flat on a car. What's it called when you're laying flat on a car? Boarding or something like that. That was a stupid thing. I remember being in New York. One of my friends planking. One of my friends planked on a police car. I'm glad he wasn't caught because they don't have such a great sense of humour. The New York police.
Speaking of police cars, massive auction at Wander Road.
There was
where people all over the footpath, cars banked up, and of course the police arrived.
Yeah, they arrived through.
And I've got to tell you, they drove through the middle of the auction at a speed that I'm not sure. Was appropriate.
That's just ridiculous. You're creating headlines now where there isn't any. It was just fine. They just cruised on by, and we love the boys in blue and the girls in blue. I can't say boys in blue.
Can't say boys or girls.
The people in blue.
Those in blue.
The theys in blue. Thank you.
Viewers, what a massive weekend. We sold 26 out of 29 for a clearance rate at Gary Pure and Associates of 90%.
89.666 up to 90.
90%.
Yeah, okay.
Versus an industry clearance rate at 78%. The
Pretty
industry
good.
Still doing well, but
Put up the towers.
Smashing it out of the park.
Let's tower that up, Phil.
Towers up. Towers down.
Thank you. Okay, let's talk about some of our great results. Hey, I want to ask a question though. It's been on my mind.
Absolutely, something on your mind?
Yeah, something on my mind. It's not a beef or anything, just a question, and I like the beef, we like the beef, but this week there's no beef. We'll go vegetarian this week, Phil. What about this, at the start of every auction, we say we will not allow major disruptions at the auction. It's a law.
That's a law.
I would like to now, something happened in an auction probably about 3 weeks ago, where an agent was being disruptive to you in terms of trying to talk over you, being quite pushy and a little bit aggressive.
Yes.
And I wonder whether we can say that was a major disruption and report that agent. I don't know what will happen, whether he'll have to do time or, what will go on, but I think that, Phil, that was a major disruption, and I'm wondering who we can get on the show, or whether anybody out there can tell us what is a major disruption. When does it go? When does it cross the line? Where's the line where you just say, that's a disruption, that's okay, that's a disruption, dogs are barking,
there's a minor disruption.
There's someone beat the horn, it's a disruption. But then all of a sudden you cross that line, and now you are,
I have to say,
starting a major disruption.
Not that I'm looking to promote harmony amongst competitors, Gary, but I would say his efforts.
No, the inner bastard in you won't allow.
But I think his efforts were trivial and foolish.
Yeah, so do I.
And trivial and foolish is not really a major disruption.
No, I suppose not. No, I suppose. So the law would have to say that we ban or that we will not allow any trivial or foolish disruptions. We should change the words maybe. Speak to those in Spring Street.
I think the world, Gary, is full of foolish and trivial people.
Yep.
Our job is to rise above that, as we so elegantly do.
And do you think he might have been breaking the other rule, which you read out, which is discouraging others from bidding? He might have been doing that.
That's an interesting point, viewers. Can
I
make this suggestion? If you want to buy a property at auction, and let's be clear, Melbourne is the auction capital of the world.
Yes, it is, Phil.
Most of the good properties do go through the auction process.
Oh, yes, they do, Phil.
So if you want to buy a home at auction, come along.
Yep.
Go to the open for inspections.
Yes.
Do your due diligence.
Okay.
Get your solicitor to check the contract. Liaise with the agents just in case it does get sold before auction. You want to make sure that you're there as a registered buyer.
Yes, you do.
Come along to the auction, and when the agent, the auctioneer says, okay, ladies and gentlemen, over to you, what am I bid for such and such a property? Just bid.
Yeah.
The number of games and tricks that we've seen the buying public engage in over the years, nothing works.
Yeah.
You've just got to
stand up there,
you've just got to
give
engage.
it your best shot, have a crack, and that's it.
You've got to engage.
Dennis knows. Dennis knows.
There's a whole lot of theories.
He did it, Hugh in the road. Phil, we're saying today that the hottest stuff in the market still is land, homes on land, villa units, semi-detached homes, period homes.
Everything, isn't it?
Because some of the apartments, Philip, they're not going quite as well. And I think if we're going to talk about, the facts on the show, I think there's some, and I think this is a message to buyers. There is some good value in the apartment market. Go out, get an apartment.
So this is the message that I have for all buyers, and probably sellers need to be listening to this as well.
Oh, they do.
I think a bit of the heat has come out of the market.
With apartments in particular.
Having said that, the market has been on an exponential growth rate since November. Here we are in middle May, and it's turning it's
do you still bite your nails?
It's arrived. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
it's arrived. The market has arrived at the summit, where I think that you'll see prices level out from here. You'll see some nice growth, but not the exponential growth that we've had. And I urge all buyers to make sure you go to every auction that you're interested in, because there will be the time that you don't go to an auction thinking that it's just going to get carried away, and that'll be the one that sells at a price that you would have bought it at. But some things, sorry to be so long-winded, some things are still going ballistically, and that is things like land.
Is it gross that we bite our nails? Because you bite your nails.
I've been biting my nails.
I know, we both do that.
Ever since I was
60 years,
essentially born.
Yeah, for 60 years.
Just
incredible.
Yeah, it's never going to go away.
There you go. Okay, well, I was talking about biting your nails. You had a different message, but yours was probably a bit more interesting, Phil. Apartments have come off a little bit, Phil, and the market's still strong, but, not necessarily as heated as it was, but still some results, Phil. But let's talk about some of the results. Like Elizabeth Street, Brighton East, sold for $2,405,000, Phil. Way more than expected.
That was ballistic.
That would, and I have great pleasure in saying this to some vendors, because I sort of like to get in and soak up the emotion and the celebration, Phil.
Essentially, that's code for while I'm doing all of the work.
Yes.
Gary's just standing there having a chat with the owners.
Oh, I've tried. Well, no, not only I take the credit as well, which is good. But I love it when I can say to vendors, this home was never worth more than it was today. Today is the highest price it was ever worth, and it was the same, Phil.
Incredible.
It was the same. It's very articulate, isn't it? It's wild and
you
incredible, insightful.
Long white hair and a long beard and
I'm working
staff.
on it. Yeah, I'm working on it. Yeah, exactly right. And I said the same to the Cantala Avenue vendors, who were delighted for the long auction there as well. Talking about beards, I have got a beef here. Let's put up a Gary's beef, but I've got a beef here. I don't know about beards and tieless. These tieless agents and bearded agents, I'm just not sure about it. Firstly, it took a lot for us to get our ties off, and I'm still feeling a bit naked, Phil, I've got to say. A little bit, a little bit underdressed without a tie. But also, the bearded agent look, I'm not sure. A couple of guys are doing it. I'd like some viewer feedback on that. Can you please give us some viewer feedback? The first 5 people that give it to us, we're going to have some gold class tickets. 2 double pass.
Who goes to the movies anymore?
No, you can go to the movies. We saw someone on a Saturday night that they said we'd been to the movie. I thought, well, there you go. That person had been to the movies, but
that person doesn't watch GPTV.
No, clearly not. So, well, there you go.
Anyway, so what's your point? Your point is, what are we thinking of men with beards?
Bearded agents and tieless agents? Because I've got to tell you, I'm going to say it, Phil, I think it's a bit shabby, and I don't think it's quite what we're about. I think, have tie on, have yourself clean shaven. I like that image, Phil.
So, firstly,
that's my view.
I'm not going to have a beef.
No, I'm on time for review.
I'm not
allowed to. That's my beef.
I'm not going to have a beef with beards because beards are a thing, right?
So, hang on. Who had a beard in our office a year and a half ago?
Well,
no one.
Fashion's changed.
There was no bearded agents.
Fashion's changed, so I'm okay with the beards. I think the problem with the ties off is that unless you're a really good dresser like myself, then you're prone to get it wrong. But then again, I see some people wearing ties that look so shabby and awful as well.
That's a different story.
I think, Gary, you've probably got to move slowly into the 21st and the 22nd century.
I think I'm in there. I think I'm here, and I think I'm in the 21st century, Phil. And I think there's others that are in some sort of a 1960s, hippie Woodstock scene, wandering around having themselves a good time. We're a business here. This is supposed to be a professional show, not some sort of 2-bit, low-class act, Phil. Anyway, we bring it to our leaders' meeting. We've got a leaders' meeting about this on Thursday, so we're going to talk about it a couple of days.
It's going to be an action-packed leaders' meeting, Gary, where the issue at hand is, do we allow beards and ties?
It's a high-profile meeting, that one, Phil. Important things to discuss.
It's a meeting of the Brains Trust.
Hey, how about Shanahan Crescent, Phil? Cooled off, sold, cooled off. The buyer said, nah, I don't want it anymore. Walked away, and lo and behold, we sold it at auction on Saturday for $200,000 more. Don't you love those stories?
Incredible.
So, cool off at your own peril.
Shout out to the vendors of that property who are the most delightful people. Shout out to Jan from our Bentleigh office.
Yeah, Jan's
just doing the most amazing things. Well done, and well done to all involved there. It was a humdinger of an auction, Gary. That went off.
I like people who can speak lots of languages. I find them clever and interesting. And Jan can speak German, Mandarin, and English.
Yep, and they say, Gary, it was written by, I think, one of the famous philosophers, I think it was Jean-Paul Sartre, who said to possess another language, Gary, is to possess another soul.
Oh, there you go.
Think about that, I reckon there's some, that resonates with me. I speak English rather well, I don't mind saying, but that's it. It's tragic. I'd love to speak another language.
You would.
My parents tried to get me to learn German. Why? I've got no idea.
Das ist sehr gut.
Go figure.
You could have spoken to my parents.
And then they tried to have me learn French. I have zero ear for language.
You had enough trouble with English, didn't you? Let's face it, so let's not go there. Phil, Castlewood Street, Bentleigh East. Now, you went down there.
I did.
Sold those 2 lovely townhouses.
So we sold one at auction, Gary, and the vendor said, look, you know what, I'm happy with that price. I'm going to sell the one next door. So we took the underbidder from the auction, took them inside, and they immediately stood by their last bid, and we sold 2. 2 for the price of 1 deal. That was excellent. Shout out to Gary, who is watching, who is the most amazing developer, and shout out to Tony as well.
You know what, Gary's get it.
Gary's
Gary's get it right. We don't muck around. The Garys, we understand properly, Phil. 13 Southey Street, good auction from Lee or Samuel there, sold for $2,631,000. The Castlewood sold for $1,490 and $1,495, Phil. That's disclosed. But Southey Street, great spot.
Camera, Gary. Try not to look down. Try to look at the camera. It's not the first.
Southey Street was
the first episode of GPTV.
Southey Street was great. Phil, Derby Crescent. Well, David Thompson, he does a great job.
That went off, didn't it?
Tomo, and he did a fine auction there in Derby Crescent. It went off all right. Did it what, Phil? 1 to 1-1. Thereabouts, and the reserve no doubt was probably in that area. I wasn't at the auction, but sold for $1,406,000. You did a great video tour there, Phil. If anyone wants to go and see
viewers, if you want to see something, this is really interesting, viewers. Have a look at this property online. Have a look at it from the outside. From the outside, I've got to say, not a great looking property from the outside, but the minute you opened the front gate, magic happened, and a shout out to the owner, who I think is an architect, transformed the interior. Probably the best interior renovation I've ever seen. So you've got this clash of exterior meets interior. massive result, but certainly to inspect that property was to fall in love with it. So
Good looks.
Shout out to architects and interior designers who are worth the money always.
Good looks sell, Phil. There's no question about it.
Gary. Although that would be a classic case of saying don't judge a book by its cover, or in your case,
come inside and be surprised.
In your case, sparkling personality, not much to look at from the outside, but luckily, Hannah, when she met you, was not just judging you from your exterior. Once she got to hear you talk and talk about racing and the horse races and cars
and golf
and all of that sort and golf, she just fell in love.
Every woman's dream. Golf playing punters, women. If I was to go online, I haven't for a long time, or I've never been online, Phil, because of course we're long married before the whole. But I think if you go online, if you're a single guy, go online, go love horse racing and golf. I think you'll have girls chasing you everywhere. I think that's the key. That's it. Am I out of touch? I don't think so. I'd like to not think so.
If we use you as the example, being ordinary on the outside, but being a horse racing,
casino going,
playing, punting,
golf loving, cigar smoking.
It's a hit with the ladies.
Can't get out of their way, Phil. That was always a problem, wasn't it? Shall we move on, Phil? 26 auctions this weekend. We've got a few properties to feature. Maybe we should talk about the feature properties first, because I think they deserve to be talked about, Phil. 26 Neerim Road. Now, this is a magnificent property.
Shout out to the owners of this property who have taken a block of land in Neerim Road, really good position near Bamborough Road. It's a north-facing back garden, and have built the most phenomenal house. Massive, beautiful home, great entertaining areas. All of the bedrooms have ensuite bathrooms, so your children unfortunately may never leave home. But if you want the kids to stay at home with you, that's the house, complete with swimming pool. It is magic.
1A Booran Road, Phil, it's just right on the bend there, opposite the race course, at a wonderful location. Now, this is a very affordable opportunity, Phil, that 1-1 to 1-2. Some photos are on screen.
Love that
special
house.
Home, get to that one if you can. And 2 at 66A Balaclava Road. Phil, is there a more magnificent apartment, or
Gary, it's a
luxury penthouse style apartment here?
Building with this incredible tree in the front, which is just a local landmark. But that's great. And coming home, you just drive straight into the basement, take the lift up to your security apartment. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Phil, let's move on. We've got 26 auctions this weekend. On Saturday, we've got 12 auctions in 10 suburbs, Phil, with an emphasis on Brighton East.
Yes.
Because we are very busy.
Okay, well, the
first got 3 there, Phil.
First one's in Oakley, of course.
Yeah,
so let's talk about.
We love it there. Leo Samuel.
Home number 3, that's a villa, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a car space. Again, we love these villas. They are going off. Invest in these. They're great.
And we love Oakley. We're doing more and more there all the time, Phil. Dunoon Street in Murrumbeena, fine address. And
Gary,
Thompson,
what a great apartment that is. Beautiful kitchen, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. That's a great entry into the marketplace.
Phil, you're starting your Brighton East run on Saturday to a Hodder Street, 10:30 a.m.
Gary, I love that. I love Hodder Street. This is 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a beautiful home with a lock-up garage. Lots to love there, and Hodder Street is just a great location.
11:30 prime auction time, Phil. 4 auctions on at that time. Mackay Avenue, Glen.
Again, single-level villa, Gary, with 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a lock-up garage. Again, that is the sort of real estate we're pushing at you because we know how good it is.
Graham Callan starts his run Saturday at 11:30 in Edgar Street, North, Phil, in Glen Iris.
Gary, what a great location. That is 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. Lovely aspect there from the balcony in the lounge room.
I think I'm the auctioneer at Inkerman Road, 5 at 380 Inkerman Road. Daniel Peer is the handling agent.
Gary, what a great property.
Yeah.
1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. Check out the living area and you've got access to the outdoors there. That's a really lovely property. Move straight in.
Great looking property in Thomas Street. I've been inside this home, Philip. It is a beautiful home. One of, I think, 2 only, I'm almost certain.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, Gary. Plenty of car parking and lots of land. I mean, check out that land and check out the little fire pit. Just be very careful with an open fire. If you've got children around or possums, just be careful.
Why possums? They run into the fire.
I had a possum, just for the record. Did I talk about this on GPTV last week?
If you did or not.
I had a possum. I left the window open in our gym, which is above the garage, and we got a possum in there. It cost us $275 to get a bloke that was prepared to. No. He had to grab it with his hand. He had this big, solid.
What did the possum do when he got? What did the possum do when he got grabbed?
Do you know what? I was ready. I wished I wished a sad demise on that possum. I did.
There's possum lovers.
I did.
I love possums in your house.
You might like possums, viewers. Yep. Why they're a protected species, I have absolutely no idea, because they seem to be everywhere. I reckon there's more possums than people in Melbourne. So why are they protected? Well, I suppose you can't go around just killing people.
So blowing people,
possums, away. But $275 to get a bloke to come into your house for 6 minutes to remove a possum. It was worth every dollar.
As Dame Edna says, hello, possum. Phil, 12:30, our only auction is dedicated to 26 Northern Avenue.
Gary, what a beautiful home. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, double lock-up garage. It's glitzy, it's glamorous. You can call it yours.
A double auction action at 2:30. This is a very beautiful home, this one in Somerset Street. I'm loving the look of this. Jeremy Rosen's auction.
2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a lock-up carport area with a courtyard garden. That is incredible architecture and an incredible location.
David Thompson, he goes everywhere all across Melbourne. He doesn't mind because he just loves auctioning and selling and representing sellers and helping out buyers. Phil, he's going to be in 5 Pearl Court, the Pearl of Noble Park.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and plenty of off-street car parking with a double lock-up garage and garden area around it. Gary, that's fantastic.
Phil, better than putting money in the bank is putting it in property, but sometimes the two come together, Phil, and that's the case in Bank Street in South Melbourne at 3:30.
Amazing home.
Love this,
Gary. You've got to love a 2-storey terrace in South Melbourne. And walking distance, obviously, to all of the wow, gee whiz entertainment of Clarendon Street. When you buy that home, you can literally walk into the city, but South Melbourne is amazing. This is a very livable terrace, Gary, but it's got a massive scope for further improvement because it's got a right-of-way going down the side, which means you've got all of the northern sunlight. It's just great. Come along and have a look at that.
We love South Melbourne, Phil, and we love it back in Carnegie in the hood at 10 at 373. The hood of Graham Callan.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, Gary. We love that location.
Let's move into Sunday, Phil. We have double auction action at 10:30. You and I are both going to be up early in the morning. I'm auctioning this terrific apartment in Cardigan Street.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Great location there, Gary. We love that location and we love everything that area has to offer.
You're going to be in Ash Grove, a great address, Phil. Love that street too.
Gary, hard to get single-storey, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom villa with a double lock-up garage. That's a beauty. You can move straight into that or further improve it.
Phil, we've got triple auction action at 11:30. St Huberts Road is Graham Callan's auction. He's a busy man this weekend.
Gary, what a great property that is. You've got to love St Huberts, as I do.
Cranham Street, Caulfield, Phil, that's a fantastic address.
Is it Cranham Street or Cranham Street?
I'll go for Cranham.
Cranham, I think you're right, Gary. I love that home. That's been very popular. It's the style of architecture that's come back into fashion in a big way. Solid brick, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, plenty of land and a brilliant street.
If Cranham is not Cranham, then Hotham would have to be Hotham, wouldn't it?
Hotham, it might be. I mean, there might be a thing with ham in the Caulfield and St Kilda area.
Definitely not a lot of ham in Hotham Street, Phil.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Not the street for it.
Balmoral Avenue, Gary, home number 1 at 38 Balmoral Avenue is a beautiful, beautiful property. Check out that. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms and a double lock-up garage is brilliant.
Double auction action in Edinburgh Street, Phil. I love this property and this address, and
incredible.
I'm excited to do the auction.
Yeah, and I'm a bit jealous because I wanted to auction that. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, double carport, and that is postmodernist history at its finest.
We've got no shortage of auctions to tell you now, including the one in, not the one in Cambrook Road, because that one is being conducted by Jeremy Rose.
Home number 3, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, off-street car parking for a couple of cars and courtyard gardens. That is a great home.
I'm not sure if you get a view of the sea from Seaview, but it's elevated, so you probably do. I think you do right at the top there.
You do get a view from Seaview, Gary. That's why they called it Seaview. And if you couldn't see it and they still wanted to call it Seaview, they would have called it Seaview-less.
Or See No View.
Or See No View, but this is Seaview, and this is an incredible home. I love this home. 733 square metres of north-facing land, together with a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom home, complete with a double lock-up garage. That is the complete family home. Brilliant in every conceivable way.
I'm going to join you at 1:30, Phil. I'm auction free at that time, and I love the vendor of this home because they gave us their house for sale a long time ago before they bought this one, Phil.
And
so
they're downsizing into a beautiful apartment in Elstonwick. This is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking, or at least there's one at the moment, but you could perhaps create more. But that's a beautiful home. You can move straight into it, and it's a great spot there walking distance to all of the best facilities.
As we look to wrap up, Phil, 2:30 double auction action, 1 at 15 Hotham Street, a fantastic 2-bedroom apartment. Jeremy Rosens is the auctioneer.
With the courtyard garden, that's a ripper.
171 Orrong Road is your 2:30 auction.
Well, Gary, I love this home. That's a most magnificent property. That's 4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage. It feels like it's brand new with wraparound gardens and the best library that you'll ever see.
Well, I get to do 3 auctions on Saturday, Phil. I love, on Sunday I should say, I love being out and about, but I'm certainly very small in volume compared to you. With your 7 auctions I think you've got. 3:30 I'm going to be at 481 Kooyong Road.
And Gary, what a good apartment that is, of course, with 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. Really good sized living zone.
Very
in that
affordable property there, Phil. 63 Orrong Road, Allsmouth. Now this is a fine home. Well, fine property, Phil, and I grew up, of course, in Elstwick, and I remember that's a doctor's surgery there. It's a wonderful spot. The vendor, delightful doctor who's been there since I was a kid.
Gary, that's 695 square metres on the corner of Malmesbury Street in Elstwick. Literally walk from there a couple of 100 metres and you're in Glen Huntley Road. A great opportunity exists there to renovate that home or further use subject to council approval. And of course it's been a professional premises for so long. And 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking.
Far be it for me to correct you, Phil, but it's Maysbury called.
Maysbury.
Maysbury, not Malmesbury. That's okay, just so those people who are looking right now in their Melways, Phil, get it right. Does anyone have a Melways anymore?
No, they don't.
I do. I love it. Phil, 402 Glen Road.
Check on this property, viewers, via the website because I did a video tour there. It's certainly the most incredible 4 or 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. And they've been so clever in what they've done with the garage because they've turned it into a multi-function space. And that is a really, really good property.
In the words of those at Seinfeld, bada bim, bada boom, Phil, because that is it. That's all there is. That's a big, action-packed, juicy show with lots of homes and lots of information about the property market, Phil. We're loving it here as we wrap up May, because next time we meet, it will be June.
It will be, and the financial year's almost over, Gary, and with the way the market is, one day we may recover from the lack of business that we did in 2020.
Hope so.
It's becoming a distant memory, but
bad
viewers,
memory.
if you haven't had your COVID shots, you must book in. I haven't. I've booked in though.
Are you? When are you going?
In 2 weeks' time, because I had my flu injection.
Do you reckon I should get it as well?
Everybody should have it, because at the end...
Where do you get it? Can you get it? Can you choose where they put it?
Gary, can they choose where you put it?
Well, you might say, look, I'd like it somewhere not necessarily in my arm, but
viewers, check in if you want the borders. If you want the borders to open up, if you want society to resume, we have an obligation and a responsibility to get the injection. So just stop being a wuss. Get it, because I've got to tell you, getting COVID or having one of your loved ones getting COVID is far worse than the 1 in, I don't know, a million chance.
And what
you've got
about
a blood
what
clot.
about the theory that the Russians can follow you when you have the injection now?
Look, all I can say is I've got a very good friend that had the injection, and their mobile phone reception now is completely fantastic.
Is that right? Fair enough.
Side benefit. No, get your injections. Come on, Australia. Let's get injected.
And there's worse things than having Russians chase you. We've got some lovely Russians in our life, Phillip, in our business. So that's a big wrap on GPTV, bringing you the news for May as we wrap it up, and we'll look forward to seeing you in June next week. I'm Gary Pearce.
I'm Phillip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.